I think I forgot my bracelet back there. So hey guys, oh my gosh, that episode that I just watched, Girl Meets the Bay Window. Hopefully you guys already saw my live reaction, not really live reaction to that episode. For the first time ever, I'm going to do a review video right after watching the episode, so we'll see how this goes. This episode just brought me to tears. As you guys saw, there is evidence of that, so please go watch the reaction. It was just as emotional as Girl Meets Mr. Squirrels Goes to Washington. Like, I thought there wasn't going to be any other episode that would like bring me to tears as that did, but this one certainly did. It was so emotional. Just watching the promo, like when I first watched the promo and like every other time that I've watched the promo, just get so overwhelmed and so emotional, and this episode definitely fit that standard of emotionalness. Oh my gosh, I cannot even, like, I had to contain myself, like, after filming the reaction video. Now I'm doing this. So this episode starts with Riley and Maya in the bay window, and Riley is telling Maya, we're going to change some stuff around here, and Maya keeps interrupting her saying, oh, are we going to change your hair? Are we going to change your clothes? Are we going to change whatever, you know? And Riley's like, no, we are going to change the bay window now. Maya freaks out and she's like, no, you can't do this. This is where we first met. This is where I felt safe. This is where I feel safe. You can't change the bay window. And Riley's like, yes, I think we need some change. And Maya's like, well, Farkle comes in here all the time and he's like, ladies, and I don't think that should ever change. And then Farkle comes in and he's like, hey. And I thought, yeah, that was pretty funny. He's just like, hey. So I guess that did change. And as we all know, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, especially Yearbook, Farkle did change a lot throughout this season. Just this season, he's changed so much. He did get pretty cute. He was wearing something similar to, like, what episode was it? Just the same way as one of the episodes. I can't remember which one it was because he's always wearing black, but there was one episode where he dressed the same way. Riley and Maya basically tell him, well, you've changed a lot and you're good looking. You're very good looking. And he's like, well, no, I'm embarrassed. Not that he wasn't good looking before, but he's grown up to be very, very handsome. He's like, yeah, I'm embarrassed now, and that was pretty funny. We see a flashback of Riley, Maya, and Farkle as kids. Something that I didn't really understand was why didn't Maya and Riley know Farkle's name? Did I miss something when I was like about to cry? Or what was it? You guys can tell me if you guys want. What was the reason why nobody knew Farkle's name? That was kind of weird. But I liked how goofy and how naive Riley was even at that age, 7 years old. She didn't know that she was supposed to pull out of the apple bowl. That was pretty funny. We're back to the present time and Lucas comes into the window. And even though, like, Lucas hasn't known Riley and Maya and Farkle for that long, he feels like he's known them forever. He's like, well, when I was a little kid, I was just like all the other kids. And then he pulls out his he pulls out his phone and he shows a picture, and it's like all of his friends are kids basically, and he's the only one that's like the same. Like, he's still the same age, like a teenager. And that was pretty funny. He's like, what is wrong with this picture? Like, he hasn't changed basically. He's always been that age. He's always looked like that. They put on a little production for Lucas. Like, they put on a little musical and they dance, and as we already know, I've seen this on Tumblr that people compared the small Maya jumping on Lucas's back with Girl Meets Flaws when like present Maya jumps on Lucas's back. Like, I didn't know that, that's why I kept saying, I know, like, don't tell me, because I already know. People made a lot of comparisons with that. And yeah, Corey and Mrs. Matthews, Topanga basically, Corey and Topanga come in and they tell Riley, what is wrong? Like, why do you want to change, right? But Riley doesn't want to let go of all her stuffed bear that Augie ate, and the boot that Lucas was stolen from, because Corey always, you know, whenever Lucas is in Riley's room, Corey always takes his boot. It's weird that that didn't happen in this episode, but it was pretty funny to reference back to that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting really emotional now just thinking about the new bay window. We see, what do we see after that? Let me check. Now I know. Corey's like, I'm not gonna teach you guys anything. You guys already know what you're gonna be taught. You guys already know what you have to do. He leaves and Topanga leaves, and then we see a flashback of Maya and Riley. Like, we see a bit of history with Maya and her father. Like, we don't see her father, but I mean, we see that the day that she started thinking that change wasn't good, that became her mentality, that change isn't a good thing because her father left her. We see Maya rocking back and forth as a little girl, and then we see her rocking back and forth as Maya now, as a present Maya. That was pretty emotional for me, as you guys probably saw. And I think Riley got also emotional because it's just so heartbreaking. Like, Maya, please. We see now why Maya feels so safe in Riley's bay window. Riley is like, okay, I'm not gonna change it, but she still does, you know? Then we see Maya starting to accept that change will come, and even with high school coming very soon for them, fast approaching, they will still be together as the four core, and that they will always remain friends, and it doesn't matter how old they get, but they will always be friends. And wow. I'm still crying. I'm gonna cry again. Don't judge. Then we see when Maya and Riley first met. Like, we see that moment when they first met, and Riley is as naive and as goofy and all that stuff that we all love about her. Maya is always, you know, the troublemaker. She runs away and she sees Riley's bay window and she goes to it, and that's how she finally, like, for the first time, she felt safe, and she felt like she was in a comforting place, because her parents were arguing at the time that she decided she wanted to run away. And then we see Maya saying, don't we have to grow up one day? And Riley's like, when will we know when that will be? This part always gets me. We see Riley and Maya in the same room as their younger selves, and Riley's like, it's now time to grow up. They go and they meet their selves, their younger selves, and they basically tell them that everything will be okay, and that just keeping themselves, change will come, but it'll be good change, and change that is necessary. And they basically give them wise words. And then we see their older selves, which is Maya is going to an art, she's moving, I think, has an art gallery exhibition thing somewhere, and the funny line thing that Riley does, it starts at 10. Their older selves are finally moving on past their bay window. They're finally growing up, and they're finally going to leave the apartment and discovering the world. And oh my gosh, I get so emotional. Riley and Maya, like their younger selves, follow them out the window, and then Maya follows them out the window, and then Riley, in the end, she leaves, and then the ending scene is we see everything, like we already saw everything, how it was changed and everything. So the final scene is we see them back in their bay window, but everything has changed. Like, the whole room is reconstructed. It's no longer a little girl's room, as Riley puts it. It's now her teenage self in her room, expressed in her room. The ending is so beautiful. Riley and Maya tell each other we'll always be friends, and we'll always have Sparkle and Lucas, and that is so comforting. And I loved it. It was so great. We will see what high school brings. They have their ring power. I loved it so much. Oh my gosh. It was amazing. I love this episode so much. That's where the episode ends. I cannot even put into words what this episode made me feel like, but I think you guys have a pretty good idea from watching my reaction video and from like what you guys feel yourselves. I hope you guys have the same thoughts, same feelings, and that I'm not the only one over exaggerating. This episode was great. I loved it so much. I know that it was going to be a very emotional episode just because the writers on Twitter have always said that the episode made them cry, and that it was probably their best work ever, like their best work yet. It's just really emotional, and I loved it. The episodes just keep getting better and better, and I just can't wait to see what comes with season 3. Oh my gosh, I'm like over the roof with season 3 now, and I can't wait for Legacy. I know a lot is gonna change. I will be doing a predictions video, a reaction video, and a review video. So 3 videos for Girl Meets Legacy. So, and that will premiere in March 11th, I think. So My predictions video will come before then, probably like a week in advance. And then my reaction video will come obviously after the premiere. And then my review video will come a little bit after. Hopefully I will be able to do everything in the right time and not like a month later like I did with New Year. This episode just brought a lot of good feelings, a lot of emotional feelings, and it just reminds me a lot of when I moved to high school. Like, I changed a lot, and this episode definitely made me self-assured that everything will be okay when I go to university. I know that some of my friends will leave, they will be moving on, and I will be moving on as well, but we're good friends and that will never change. But all good things come to an end. I don't know, for some reason I did think that they were going to change, like they weren't actually gonna have a big window or something. I thought that everything was gonna be like torn down or something, but they redecorated it, which wasn't as bad, but it still did bring emotions to me. But I'm glad that they're keeping the bay window, which is good. I've heard people say that Maya was a little overreacting with this episode. Not like I haven't been on Twitter, I haven't been on anything for a whole day because I did not want to be spoiled with anybody. Like, I didn't want anybody to spoil the episodes for me, so I stayed off Twitter, I stayed off Tumblr, I stayed off every social media account, so that I wouldn't be spoiled and that I could watch the episode in peace without people telling me their opinions, and that I can say whatever I wanted to say right now, and later on I'll see what people are saying. But these are just my thoughts, and so yeah, you guys can leave your thoughts in the comments below telling me what you guys thought of this episode. As I said before, one thing I want to say, I think that the older Riley really looks like Riley. Like, really does resemble her. Like, I would just imagine Rowan just growing up to be like her. Maya was a little bit, I'm just looking at their picture right now. Maya looks, I mean, kind of looks like Maya, but not as much as Riley does resemble the younger, like the present Riley. The older Riley resembles more like the present Riley than Maya resembles her present Maya. I remember hearing that TK from Boy Meets World, like the actress that plays her, like she auditioned to play the older Riley. That's what I've heard, but I hope to see TK soon. So with this episode, I think it's extremely relatable, like to me at least, because I'm going to university soon. It's just a lot of big changes. I am going to be entering the adult world very soon, and it's fast approaching. I am almost there. And I don't know what to think, but I know I'll have people that surround me, and that's all that matters, is that I have friends and family that will obviously be there for me, and I'm glad you guys are there for the ride, because I will be making a lot more videos and you guys will see me grow up, I guess. I give this episode a 100 out of 10 because it was amazing, and I hope you guys do the same. So many feels. Like, if I watch it again, I know I'll just cry all over again, so I probably won't watch it for a while, but not saying that I won't. So, like, if I need a good cry, I'll watch that episode and cry again. Remember that my predictions video for Legacy will come out very soon, and then my reaction, and then my review video. This was a special, like the reaction video was special just because someone on Twitter, many are called, you can follow them, they recommended a reaction video, so that's why I did it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Leave a comment below telling me what you guys thought. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you want, because I will be doing a little hangout once a month if I get to 100 subscribers. So subscribe to my channel if you want. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for always watching, and give this video a thumbs up also because of how much I cried. And I showed you guys that I do cry during episodes. This was proof. I do cry a lot during episodes, but not as much as this one. Mwah. And remember guys, there is no end to your horizon. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!
I've been waiting for a day like this to come, struck like lightning. My heart's beating like a drum on the edge of something wonderful.